Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boomer Bust channel, Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today we're looking at Trubisky's completed passes in our Week 2 matchup versus the New York Giants. As a reminder, you can go to speakpipe.com. The address is right there in the video. You can go there to leave a voice message that can end up on the show, either a comment or a question. Also, if you like the content, consider supporting. Go to patreon.com and find out how you can support the channel. So we already did the incompletions. Go to the description section if you want to see that. And so, okay. And so we're going to do the completions now. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get this started. All right, so this is already kind of running ahead. So 3rd and 5, first quarter. It's our first drive. Going to be a number of completions on the first drive, as we did have a good amount. So this is one of those plays that kind of gets people back and forth in the comment section and all that, where you could say that's a bad decision. Some people say, oh, well, that's a great throw. Look where you put it. I mean, there's a couple ways you could go about it. It is a tough throw. It's a great catch. I prefer to look at what the rest of the options are. So we got a 2x2 formation. Montgomery stays in to help block. So we just pretty much get like a bench pattern where we got two outbreaking routes and they kind of turn. I don't know, man. Some of our routes I really don't like because it's just weird. Because they break out, but then they turn back inside, whatever. So we get those two outbreaking routes from the inside receivers. Then the outside receivers are just going to run kind of that spot route over the middle. And so I understand it. As I said last year, I understand why we run those curls and those different things, just kind of to layer the defense and especially against zone, find those soft spots. So I get that. So really the outbreaking route is 3rd and 5. You could throw that, but it's not a real that's not a real option, because more than likely if it's man, that's not really an option. In zone, unless they're all playing deep off, which they wouldn't be on 3rd and 5, you're going to have somebody in the flat. So that's not really the option. So you're looking primarily at those two routes over the middle. And so now you want to read what the defense is giving you. And they got a little bit of a funky look because they got that deep middle person as well, knowing that we like to throw those curls and whatnot. I mean, I don't know if that's why they do it, but it's definitely a good defense. And they have this little weird amoeba defense, and it is weird because you got the two slot guys, you got a deep middle safety, you got the two corners, but this slot isn't playing the guy in man. He's playing a deep, he's playing everything underneath. So it's a real weird max coverage situation. And so I think really that's the guy you got to watch. And this is by no means a traditional defense. The person you got to watch is this person sitting over the middle, whether they're over the top or not, because you know you're running your routes in this area. So now you got to see where he gravitates to. And he clearly kind of gravitates towards Allen Robinson. So it feels like Wims would have been a little bit of an easier target. But trusting Allen Robinson, knowing the type of receiver he is, I understand why you do that. Now, past making that decision, we talk about the throw, where you do essentially have three people in that area. And there's no doubt about it. That's a tough throw. It really is few places you could have put it where the defense couldn't get to it, especially with that guy sitting over the middle. And Trubisky does what he tends to do. Trust Allen Robinson. I understand. I mean, the pass pro's good. Like I said, they kind of max coverage. They only sent 3. And honestly, I mean, if you're going to give a receiver a chance, why not? But a hell of a catch by Allen Robinson. All right, so 2nd down and 16. Behind the sticks. Motion out to an empty set. Just a little screen pass. Kind of a now route dump off to Tariq Cohen. And I really like plays like that. I necessarily wouldn't want to wait to 2nd and 16 for that. But I really like plays like that where we're utilizing some of our players in better situations, as I said before. All right, so missed it down. 1st and 10. Still in the first quarter here. Matter of fact, this should still be the first. Yeah, this is still the first drive. So a weird little play action. And then just a shallow cross again, one of the favorite routes of the NFL and college right now. We motioned, so Allen was by his side. Now he got a little jammed up at the line, but was able to drag across. And so we see one big problem right there on that throw. Let's back it up a little bit because Cordell's coming from out of the backfield. But we're going to see he's going to end up being wide open. So Jimmy runs kind of I wouldn't say a rub route, but distraction. It's man coverage, and you got 2 people going deep. So this is where you really got to be able to read the defense. We get this motion, and I would say to the Giants' credit, they disguised that well because nobody motions over with Miller. And this might be a zone, but the way some of they play it, it might be just be kind of a match type thing. But at the snap of the ball, they leave the inside Mooney, get the outside wheel route. The middle picks up Mooney. And so, like I said, it feels kind of like man, especially the way the linebacker goes with Jimmy Graham. But either way, and I get now, that's tough. That's tough to even sit here and look at to know if that's man or not because you didn't see anybody move, so you probably thinking it's zone. But the way they pick everybody up looks like a man concept, and then Cordell Patterson ends up streaking wide open. Now, obviously, it's the NFL. They can be doing a lot of different things. They can have part man. They can have all types of stuff. But I can't really fault Trubisky for that. The only thing I'll say is that you got to know your options. So he's looking for Allen Robinson the whole way. And so he never looks across. I would at least take a peek. I mean, no matter what, and that's the problem with quarterbacks that stare down receivers. No matter what's going on, I would at least take a peek to see what's happening on the other side of the concept. I mean, because right now you don't see anybody going for Cordell. So it's one of those tough things. I'm not necessarily going to blame Trubisky for that. So we'll look at the pass pro. Essentially a 3-man rush. 51 wasn't really trying to rush. He got caught up. Pass pros there. I mean, they were playing a lot of max coverage against us, which is weird. I mean, maybe they don't trust their pass rushers, but I would be blitzing Trubisky. 3rd and 6. So this is the touchdown. I mean, this is what everybody's looking for. Extend the play. Not necessarily making something happen with your feet, but when things break down, trying to make something out of it. I mean, we ran that curl pattern with the post, a little flat route come from a different side. And they just lost track of David Montgomery. But that's what you do as a quarterback. When you're mobile, you press the defense and put them in a stress situation where they either got to play you or they got to play coverage. And that's essentially what you got there. I mean, some of the timing was off on the other routes. You saw Allen Robinson slip. So Trubisky couldn't really do what he wanted to do. And so improvising, making a play. And then David Montgomery doing a good job after. All right, so 3rd and 2. Still in the first quarter, empty set. Motioning to the backfield. Again, they rush 3. Little flag route by Jimmy Graham. Kind of a tight end special. So we got the backfield. This is what a little sail concept with the flat route, then the Y route, or what some people call Y route, corner route. Kind of a classic concept right there. So you're going to give something underneath for them to look at and then try to hit it between the safety. Now, cover 3, 100%, you're pretty good with that. Cover 2, you still can hit that underneath. They made it look like a cover 1 look, but they kind of split out to cover 2. That safety was way too far. He was not really anywhere there. And a good little throw by Trubisky. Well, I won't rewind it. Let's go through the pass rush. See the pass pro. Now, it was a deep pass for a 3rd and 2, but, I mean, it was wide open. So they rushed 3 again. Clean pocket. Pitch and catch. All right, 2nd and 15. First quarter. They do a trip stack look. And then just do a little bubble. Or kind of a smoke screen. I don't know. I always get lost in naming plays, man. People call things different things. But anyway, so 3rd and 18. We're in the second quarter now out of the empty set. Again, another little now screen. The ball's low. Kind of threw off the timing. Obviously, with those, you want them to catch it and be able to move right away. That one darn near looked incomplete, just right at his feet, but the blocking wasn't really there to begin with, which is why I don't really love these types of screens. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure what the design was there because Allen Robinson, you got 2 people there. And so Allen Robinson is going to come to this guy. I don't know if the tackle's supposed to get there. That's a tough block, but the end does a good job of staying in the way of the tackle. So it takes Leno a little bit of time to get to Peppers. Because, yeah, I mean, Peppers just does a real good job with his angle. There was no way that Leno was ever going to get there. Which is why I'm just like, I don't know why they designed it that way because that's a tough block for the tackle. Anyway, 1st and 10, under center. NFL loves their motions, man. Play action. Just a one-on-one, little curl over the middle. Some of that, really some of our bread and butter. Which you do see that concept with the Chiefs with Tyreek Hill a lot. It's much more effective, I think, because Tyreek Hill also can go deep. But still an effective concept. All right, so 2nd and 7, second quarter. Under center again, looks like 22 personnel. So we got the play action, 2-man route. again. And you see it with Mooney where he can threaten vertical a little bit more. And that just gives him that space. Now, I would like to see him work a little bit outside there, but that was fine. Two-man route, I mean, once you get the run game going, and that's the thing, our run game still hasn't got to the point where we can really play action people to death. Like, I remember at this point, I was like, why are linebackers running up? Like, our run game wasn't that good at that point where I would have been worried about it. And still, Martinez still recovered and got to decent position. But, again, it's just one of those things. But you can see how they're using pass pro. We use a lot of tight ends last week to help with play action. We used a lot of tight ends with pass pro last week to help with the protection for Trubisky. This week they're, kind of max coverage a lot, so not as necessary. But, play action here. Kind of the same concept. Going to break it across the middle. I can't see. I think that's Jimmy. Or is that Komet? Yeah, it's Komet. So he slips a little, but still, it's that same thing. Play action, curl underneath them. Let them box out. And Harris, he was doing a hell of a job. He's been doing a hell of a job blocking. He's been way better. He has any right to be. And so I really appreciate him in our pass pro. And that's the thing. No offense to Komet, but that's the thing. Shaheen, Burden, Holtz, Broniker, any of the tight ends with good size can do that. That's just literally boxing out and making that catch. That's literally all you have to do. And so this idea that these tight ends are doing something way different or way better, like, I don't buy that. We could have been doing this with any of our other tight ends. All right, so they motion Jimmy out wide, play action. Just dumping it down. We got looks like a three-man route because Jimmy's going to kind of wheel behind. Or no, he breaks out, and then Allen Robinson post takes all that. Yeah, Jimmy did wheel, but Jimmy's not fast enough for us to get that wheel, so it ended up being a check down. And I don't know if I like that design as far as doing a two-man route with Jimmy Graham, but one that's long developing, but what it is. So Komet and Harris stay in, help with the pass protection. We got a four-man rush, plenty of time. And again, just having to check it down. All right, so 3rd and 7, second quarter. Most of this had to be in the second half. We got to be halfway through already. So we got a little bunch look from the gun. Same concept as earlier. Flat routes, little curls over the middle. Back to loving our curls. We see Wims just kind of settle into the soft spot. But I will say credit to Trubisky. Even though it's nothing new, we knew he had velocity. But credit to him, man, because we ran a lot of curls and they ran a lot of max coverage. And he was still able, for the most part, to get these passes in there. But again, we knew he had a strong arm. We knew he had velocity. But some of the placement is good. The velocity obviously is really good, and it had to be because these could have been interceptions. All right, so 3rd and 8, trips bunch. Or empty trips bunch. Curl pattern again. A little bit of a variety to that. I mean, he's got all day to throw. So this was that touchdown to Mooney. As you can see, as what I call the initial wave doesn't work. And so it becomes kind of a what you would say a scramble drill, but he's not really scrambling, but you know what I mean. So just a little flat route. We'll see the curls. We'll see the curl over the middle here, and then Anthony Miller tries to break it, but the other curl there, the other curl. So it was just kind of this curl. Then it became, a little bit of a scramble drill. Mooney tried to get open. And it was interesting to see Trubisky just trust him. I mean, he just put it up there right in the middle of the end zone, and Mooney attacks the ball and makes a great catch. But as you can see, that was like all-day protection for the most part. Let's see if they rush 3 again. And that's that thing. I mean, I like max coverage too, but it depends on personnel, especially with 3 people. And the middle guy never really rushes. They just kind of press and wait. So, and again, this was when Trubisky started to move in the pocket, and I didn't understand why. You had a linebacker that wasn't really coming, plus you had Whitehair right there. He just kind of starts moving around. But honestly, that gives Mooney time to kind of make up his thing. And then I watching it live, I was like, what is Trubisky doing? I still don't believe, like, at this point he needed to start moving the pocket at all. But obviously he wanted to take off. Then he didn't feel it. Then he was trying to get something on that scramble drill. It was covered. And he tried to come back. So just improvising. All right, so now we jump to the third quarter. Second down, play action roll. Quick little outlet pass, which I like. What was that? 2nd and 7. Yeah, I like that. Obviously, you want to get that depth down correctly, so it was at the first down. But still, I like that on 2nd down. Picked up a good amount of yards. All right, moving to the next play, 3rd and 1. We got 12 personnel out there. Little play action jet. Just a little dump down. You could tell, like, they were giving up the flats all game. Like, they pretty much just let everybody out the backfield kind of do their thing. Like, for the most part, we've seen when they're coming out of the backfield, they're essentially being ignored. And I don't know whose job that is and how they set it up, but that might just be a case of the Giants was like, that's what we're going to give up. We'll give up the flat, which is kind of weird. I mean, we don't throw a ton of passes to the back, but it was kind of weird. All right, so empty set, 3rd and 3. Trubisky breaks the pocket. Another good throw on the run to Wims. We'll look at the pass pro. Looks like they brought 4. Actually, they brought 3 because they dropped Leo. They continue to rush 3. It's a good play. I mean, Trubisky's using his physical tool. I mean, he doesn't necessarily need to break the pocket, but he felt that he wanted to get people on the movement. I hope he doesn't fall too in love with that, like some of these teams are, where it's like, man, just get to the point where you can improvise. That's where we make our biggest plays. Like, sometimes, yes, but a lot of times you need to be on schedule. So 1st and 10, play action. Nothing vertical that he liked. Dumped it down. Looked like Jimmy Graham got caught up there. I mean, it looks like we had some options over the middle, but it's first down. I'm fine with that. Just pick up some positive yards. So I had a 2 tight end set. Play action again. They actually blitzed somebody this time, but it's still 3 rushers. Or no, it's 4. Leo's all the way out on the edge. So no problem with that. All right, now we jump to the end of the fourth quarter. That's a huge jump in between completions. A gigantic jump. And so we talk about time of possession and all that on defense, and obviously not being able to run the ball as well as we wanted to, but a huge time jump. And really, oh yeah, so let's look at this. This is when Massey catches it. So this is 4th down. So it's 4th and 2. Some people are like, why we pass it on 4th and 2? Like, hindsight, we can always do that. If it works, it works. So they try to do a little play action sprint, thinking they'll get Montgomery, but they played underneath coverage with the corner, and so that was covered. Then we go, whoops. Then we go and try to, this might have to be the last one. So then we go and try to dump it down. Obviously, they play good convergence on that. And Leno making a big play. Oh, that was the last one. That was our last completed pass. So Leno making a big play to save that, which was not how it was scripted, but ended up working out in our favor. So that was the completed passes. Again, I think it was a tale of 2 halves. The first half, you can see there's a lot more happening there, but still a lot of things that I'm actually confident in seeing Trubisky, even with his incompleted passes. But still, you can, as we all said, he's not a high-level quarterback. He's still at that point where he's kind of more of a manager. But my computer's about to die, so I'm going to hop off. Go to the comment section. Let me know what you think. Share around, get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.